Hi, hello. My name is Priyanshu, PSG, and this video is to talk about primarily customer journeys and also integrating two to three of the most important tools that we have as digital marketers. So, a little about me. I've done digital marketing for over 2, 3 years now. I've freelanced for a lot of clients, and I specialize in email marketing, search engine marketing as well, a little bit of social media marketing. So basically, it's an umbrella, right? So you get to do everything at once. Um, just a second, I put my phone on silent. Yeah. This video is about integrating a central CRM, which is one of the most popularly used CRMs, HubSpot, and email marketing engine, which is in this case, in this video, I'll be using Klenty. Some marketers want to use Mailchimp because they already have their lists installed there, the campaigns installed over there. So that's also, I mean, that's also great. The problem that this video comes because of the fact that I have personally took about last 5, 6 days. And I spent a lot of time working for one of my clients to kind of figure out how to map a customer journey and and kind of put it into action. So first of all, if you don't understand a customer journey, like what happens when you add a contact, um, when you kind of you grab a contact from a website or from a pop-up list, what do you do with that? What is a customer journey? What does it start? Where does it end? Then probably so you may need to go and revisit that. I don't have a video as of now on that. I'd love to make one going forward. But So that's one. The second part is why do we need a CRM? Now that's another question. A CRM is basically what is a CRM? So it's basically where all your contacts, or all your not only contacts and their journeys are mapped and kept. So if we're looking at something like if you're looking at when a person was added, when a contact was added, when did that person receive the first email? When did you reply? Did he reply at all or did he not? All that. So that's basically all of that is stored in the CRM. Multiple CRMs are available in the market. You could choose any of them. HubSpot is one of the most popular ones because the features that it provides, which are amazing, to be honest. The problem why so HubSpot has a inherent email marketing engine, right? So why don't we use that instead, right? Ideally, because of the fact that primarily because it's very costly. So you ideally go in with a HubSpot starter marketing plan. So that's where you want another email marketing engine to come in. And also because of another fact, which is that you are used to one kind of email marketing engine like Klenty or MailChimp. So I'll make this video in two parts. The first part will talk about Klenty. The second part will talk about MailChimp. MailChimp is a lot more technical, a lot more critical. We use another add-on called Zapier, which comes into play. But HubSpot remains the central CRM, right? So that's why I'm making this video. Okay, I'm not a video editor, so this might not be great, aesthetically pleasing to your eye, but bear with me. If this helps you, great, right? So this is about HubSpot plus Klenty. First of all, let me make you understand. I would have loved to draw a graph or a map on this on Miro, but we don't have the time for that, and I intend to keep this video as short as possible. Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to um, you know, get leads from somewhere. And I'm not going to show you the getting leads part because that's a completely different ballgame altogether. You might want to get leads from LinkedIn, you might want to get leads from your pop-ups, you might want to get leads from somewhere, and that might add on to your list on HubSpot or the CRM that you use. So I'm not going to talk about that. That's a little complex. That's for another day. I'm going to export lists. I'm going to take contacts, pull out contacts from somewhere, and I'm going to start a customer journey with that contact. I'm going to show you what happens, how it happens, how you can map a proper customer journey, and I'll be doing it in very in small phases, so you can understand the interlink, understand what's going on after what. So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna take a contact. We're going to import it to HubSpot. We're going to create lists on HubSpot so as to dynamically keep adding. So for example, let's say you have two kinds of audiences. One is for Yeah, I mean, one is for your regular, I don't know, let's say you sell shoes, right? So one is for sports shoes. These are young, I mean, millennials or whoever, I mean, people between 20 to 30 years of age, sports shoes, right? And the other is for other uh, audience that you have, or the other lead list that you have built is for, let's say, I don't know, I mean, heels maybe for women, right? So these two are completely different, separate target audiences. These two are separate audience bases, so to speak. And your mails, your customer journeys, the communication that you'll be having with these customers will be very different. It will be a complete different range of communication with set A and a different range of communication set B. So you have to set up two respective customer journeys, number one. Number two, the thing to take care of here, the thing here to take care of is basically that even then the English was wrong. The thing that you have to take care of here is that it should be a dynamic list, because today there's one person, tomorrow there'll be 10, 100, 200, 500. You can't start all over again. The entire process is, it has to be an automated engine from the start to the end, right? Like it should start from a list, it should end on a list, or it should end in a sale. Whatever your website does, if you sell products, it should end in a sale or end in a list where the sale doesn't happen. It's a hot lead, warm lead. Okay, one more term I'm gonna, not a one more terms, a couple of more terms I'm gonna use is cold lead, a warm lead, and a hot lead. What do I mean by that? Cold lead is somebody you haven't interacted with, somebody who doesn't know about your brand at all, completely in the dark, right? So for example, talk about a brand you don't know. I just came to know yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, a few weeks back, that there's a proper brand called Ustra, which is a proper hairline brand and for men, right? I didn't know about this. So let's say, assume that I knew about this yesterday. So before yesterday, I was a cold lead for Ustra. Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's Ustra is what I've heard about it. So before yesterday, I was a cold lead. Somehow I came to know, a friend of mine told me that, hey, listen, you could try this for after 30s, when your hair starts to kind of, you could use this. So today I'm a warm lead. I'm not a hot lead. I'm not looking to buy it because I don't need it right now. But maybe in the future, I might refer to it. Like I remember it, right? So that's that me being a warm lead is significance of that. I remember the brand immediately. It came to me right away. That's the impression you want to build in your customers' minds. Yeah. That's the kind of approach you should have, that you want to build value first. You want to be there with the customer first, so that he refers to you directly. I mean, in some perspective, at some point of time, maybe not immediately. So I'm a warm lead for Ustra right now. Ustra, the brand. I'm a warm lead. Tomorrow, if I go on their website, I haven't. Tomorrow, if I go on the website, check out the products, and probably add one to cart, and I don't want to buy it yet, then I'm a hot lead, which means that I'm looking to buy the product. I still haven't made my mind up, but I'm very close to that final execution point. So now the next step is sale. So it could be they could advertise to me, they could call me up, they could send one of the guys across, they could send me a sample. Multiple ways they could push the sale. Yeah. But to take me from that first place, where I didn't know about the brand, to a place where now I have actively checked out the product and I know what the brand means, what it does, what products it has. That journey is cold, warm, hot lead journey. The entire journey, we call it. For more details on this, I feel you'll have great videos on YouTube. You can kind of check those out. That's amazing. Those videos are amazing, actually. I learned my stuff from there. So that's another term I'm going to use. I hope I made it clear what cold lead is, what a warm lead is, and what a hot lead is. Yeah. Okay. So this is my desktop. I'll be using one of my clients' accounts. I have permission for that, hopefully. And then going forward, I hope you understand what I'm doing over here. Yeah. So first of all, the platforms we'll be using are 1, HubSpot, 2, Klenty in this video, Klenty, and 3, Microsoft Excel for the CSV file. Yeah. So first thing, I'll show you the Excel that I've made over here. So let's go into this and see. So if you look at this, these two Excel files, right? So one of them is original file and one is an add-on file. What does that mean? It primarily means that I'll just put this down over here somewhere. Yeah. Mhm. So this is basically I think this is the original file which contains a contact. It's the name, first name is Bill, the last name is Musk. Then this is the email ID of the guy, which is a original email ID. It's one of my spare email IDs. And a tag. Now, why is a tag important? I'll explain that as I go along. And people who have done HubSpot in the past and have tried to integrate, probably why you're seeing this video, will know why I'm doing this. Yeah. So there's a tag always. So this is a original list. So I'll upload this contact by default, and I'll show you the automation through another list, which is the add-on list. Yeah. So this is another guy, Elon Gates, right? And once again, another email ID we have access to. And again, that same tag, right? So this is the list. After we've built the automation, I'll upload this list and I'll show you what this means, how the automation works. But this is just for proof, right? This is just a dry run. So first, once again, so when I say lead, these are leads, right? You can have leads in different forms. They could be CSV formats, they could be uploaded straight to your CRM. It could be a multiple number of things. But I'll start with CSV because I don't want to go into the lead gaining kind of thing. How do you get leads and all of that? So that's how. So I'll close this Excel. Let's go to my browser over here. Okay, so this is HubSpot, yeah, and this is a marketing premium starter plan, which is not a free plan, because on a free plan you can't do a bunch of stuff which are not allowed on a free plan. So this is a marketing starter plan, right? So I have access to this account, and and this is the account we're going to work with. This is my central CRM. This is where all the contacts are stored, right? Um, so that's one. How do we start with this? Primarily, first of all, you should create a list, a dynamic list. What is a dynamic list in HubSpot? It keeps on adding contacts based on tags. So somebody A, B, C, D, 4 people, right? A is tagged red, B is tagged blue, C is tagged red, D is tagged blue. So these two, A and C, are red, right? So I want to create a list that takes in, by default, not with my intervention, that takes in A and C whenever they're added. I want to create a list that is automating the process of tags, and that is taking in contacts based on their tags. That's called a dynamic list that's available in HubSpot. I'll start by creating that list. Now, when I say tag on HubSpot, you don't have a tag, you don't have ready-made tag. So you might have to create a property under contacts, which is called tag. I'll try to show you that if I can. So first of all, I go to lists. And we already have a couple of lists over here. And we'll start creating a list. But before we start creating a list, what will happen is it won't import any contacts because the kind of contact I'm trying to kind of add won't be available over here. So let's go back to lists, and here's what we'll do. We'll first create a contact. Yeah. So hold on. Yeah. So first, let's import a contact. You could create a contact as well, whatever. I'm showing an import because I want to show you what happened with the CSV file. I'll pull this up. I'm not explaining these processes because these are mostly technical. Most people would have gone through this. If you want to, you can read through HubSpot's knowledge base documents. You'll get an idea of what I'm trying to say. I'm just rushing through these parts. I'll show you the technical side of things, the difficult part. And I'm going after the original. Okay, I'm putting the original list, which is the one that I'll be using straight up, and then I'll use the add-on list. So here the tagging happens. I feel 1 second. This is something that you have already, most people have already know. So first name is tagged to first name, last name is tagged to last name. These are the columns on my Excel, and these are the HubSpot properties they're going to map to, the ones you're going to refer on later on. So if you see email ID is not tagged to anything, so I have to tag this email ID, which is basically this one, email. Yeah. So tag and tag red is under tag. Now, tag is something I've created in the past. So I want to show you how to create a new property and then use that as a tag. Let's say this tag, this property tag, you won't get when you start with your journey, when you start using HubSpot. This is not there. So let's create a new property, and that will say, let's name it demo tag. That will be easy. So select group. It will come under contact information. Why contact information? Because it helps in a later phase when you're working maybe with MailChimp, which is a critical, that process is a little bit more critical. There to use. So let me start with contact information. Let's name this thing tag demo tag. Maybe. Yeah. Fine. I'm not giving an let's make a description of demo. And I'm clicking on next, select field type. And this has to be single line text, because if you look at the, the tag I'm using is tag_red, which is a single line text. So let's go for single line text. Yeah, the preview is fine. We don't need to kind of put a preview on this. Yeah. So if you now see that tag on the Excel file is now tagged to demo tag. Yeah. I'm clicking on next. Create a list of contacts. You don't need to do this, right? But you agree to terms and conditions, and then you finish the import. The import will be done as and when. What you can do rather now is you go back to contacts, you go to lists, right? The import has been done already. I think it just showed up over there. If you want me to show the contact, let us try to see the contact first. Easy. Makes sense. Yeah. So over here, you have Bill Musk, right? So in my proper like contact list, this guy's over here. Fine. Now we go to list, and we're trying to create a list that takes up all the contacts tagged as tagged red. Yeah. So we're going to create a dynamic list. So here we go, create list. And we go for a contact based list. And here you have to go for the active list. Active lists automatically update over time. Records will leave or join as the properties change. Yeah. So we go with, and we name it, I don't know. I mean, so let's say tagged list, active list. Yeah. Let's name it that. This needs to go somewhere. Yeah. I go to next. There aren't any contacts on this list. So because I haven't set the filter conditions, right? So let's go to contact properties, and let's search for demo tag. Yeah, see, it pops up over here. Now, demo tag has to be, it's very much like coding. I mean, not coding per se, but it's the same, the if-else conditions, if you remember any of your Python. If you're from a computer science background, you get it easy. Demo tag is equal to any of, let's say, what was the tag that we used? Tagged red, right? So tag_red is what we used, and we want this list to show all contacts that are tag_red, right? And the moment you do this, you see that this one pops up because this one is tagged as tagged red. So now you save this list, and this understand that this is a dynamically added. This list will be added dynamically, right? Now the next target that we have is, now we're choosing Klenty as an email marketing engine. Why? Because it's amazing. It's a great engine. I used to use MailChimp a lot, but I mean, 6 months, and I've done a lot of email marketing. Klenty is probably one of the best things that you can use, because the integration with HubSpot is the moment you see another, I mean, you use MailChimp, the next video will be about MailChimp. You see how difficult it gets. You have to use Zapier and all that. I'll show you in Klenty how easy it gets, right? To kind of use Klenty. Now, what are we trying to do on Klenty? We're trying to, so this guy, Bill Musk, and let's say he wants to get shoes, right? He like we're selling shoes, let's assume, right? So I wanna take Bill Musk, the moment he's added over here, I want to take him through a journey where I promote my shoes to him. I ask him to check out the shoes in my online store or whatever I have, my business. And then post that, I want to convert that into a sale. The thing is that we can't go into that depth right now. So I'll show you a string of emails. I'll show you how a customer journey is built on Klenty. It's way better, and it's visual on MailChimp. That's a different thing. We'll talk about it another day. But I'll show you how it's done on Klenty, right? So let's go and get into Klenty. And the target we're doing here is we're taking Bill Musk on a proper series of emails. When I say customer journey, I mean a series of emails, and these emails have to be in sync with how he responds. Does he open the email? Then one kind of response. Does he not open the email? Then another kind of response. Does he click on the email? Then one kind of response. Does he not click on the email? Then another kind of response. So based on his customer journey, based on how he reacts to my brand, I'll curate a journey, and this has to be automated. It can't be a regular everyday thing, right? I can't log in every day and work on specific guys, right? So we go to Klenty now. Okay, over here, First of all, let's build a cadence. Now, what is a cadence? A cadence is basically a campaign in Klenty. The support team at Klenty is amazing. Feel free to reach out. Here you go. You sign up for a free account. You get 14 days of free trial, and you can schedule a demo over here. So that's pretty much. And the demos are fascinating. I mean, there are two types of demos. I think one of them is a product demo, a 45-minute demo, and the one is a discovery. Choose this one, and it will basically explain you everything about Klenty. It's amazing. That's a very powerful tool as well. Okay, so let's create a cadence. So the first cadence that we're going to build is cadence means a campaign. The first campaign we're going to build is basically introductory mail to anybody who is just added to my list, this particular list, right? Where I'm selling shoes. So I want to send him a welcome mail. I want to tell him, hey, listen, you have been added to my mailing list, and I want to talk to you, kind of going forward. So approach the guy. So here you go to cadences. You go to over here, and you create a cadence specifically for this particular list. And let's say you add an email. So this is the first email, and let's name this welcome mail. And we can write over here that, hey, let's say put a place his first name maybe. Yeah. If all these things seem new to you, that's fine, because you haven't used Klenty or an email marketing engine before. Feel free to kind of drop me a text or go ahead and take a demo. It's not rocket science. Anybody can do this. So hey, first name. So it will show up like, hey, Bill. I don't know. This is a welcome mail for you. Receiving more in the future, or maybe that's kind of creepy. This is a welcome mail for you. I don't know. Take care. Yeah, these are difficult times, right? And then I say regards. I don't know, please. Right. So this is the first mail that Bill receives once he signs up for my newsletter, or once his contact is added. How is that contact added? We just saw. So I add this email. Yeah. Now, based on whether Bill opens my email, and this could be a number of drafters, there could be a number of steps over here. Based on if he opens my email or if he doesn't open my email, we can kind of change his his approach, how we talk to him the next time we talk to him. So what we can do over here, first of all, let's create a follow-up. Let's say he doesn't open this email, right? So let's create a follow-up over here. Or we can do that later as well. But let's create a follow-up first. It will be easy for us. It will make the work faster. So this is follow-up mail 1. Yeah. And again, I don't know. Let's not waste time on content over here. We can all of us can write content, no big deal. So this is another mail that's going out. I click on next. And let's name this. What was the name of the list that we just used? Yeah. I think tagged list. This is the one like tagged list, active list. So let's say this guy is tagged list, active mailer list, something like that of that sort. Let's call it that. The time zone could be India. The email priority is follow-up emails. What does it mean? It basically means that if you have a limit on mails every day, right? If you're allowed to send 500 mails a day, do you send the mails? Do you prioritize the follow-up mails, or do you prioritize the new mails, fresh mails, people who are being added? You always prioritize the follow-up emails. This is completely your choice. It's the marketeer's choice. Stop cadence to reply is very important. You should ideally, this is my opinion. If somebody replies, you should stop the cadence, right? Campaign right there. You should contact with that person one-on-one. That's one. Auto reply is another thing that's your choice. So let's go to next. Add prospects to cadence, we don't have, and I'll show you how to add prospects to cadence later on. In this perspective, we'll add a list to a cadence, a dynamic list to a cadence, and the save and exit this. Yeah. So now we have a tag list, and as the spelling has been, it's amazing. I think I can change the spelling over here. Edit cadence name. Yeah, an extra A. Yeah. So now let's go into this particular list. And now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a branching. So if Bill opens the first email, I want him to receive a second email saying that, hey, you opened my mail. Here's some more stuff. If it doesn't, I want him to go through the entire, flow, right? The follow-up email 1, follow-up email 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. However you choose it. Klenty has an option as a playbook. Yeah. So as a playbook, you go to what is a playbook? Feel free to explore on Klenty or take a demo once again. I'm not going to explain this. So create a custom playbook and yeah. So multiple options over here. I'll just show you one. So prospect opened email. Let's say this guy opens my email one time. Ideally, this shouldn't be the case. I'm just showing it for the sake of it. Ideally, it should be 2 or 3 times, which shows that he has intent. He's opened the mail twice or thrice, kind of intriguing him to a degree. But just for the sake of argument right here, for the sake of this video, let's select one time, and let's see opens a welcome mail one time. That's the when condition. And then what I do is I add him to another cadence, right? I add him to another cadence, which is basically I don't know, I mean, basically taking care of the second part of his journey. Now to add him to another cadence, I'll have to create another cadence. So I think we jumped ahead of ourselves. We should create another cadence and come back to this. Let's do that. Let's go to cadences, and then let's create a cadence over here. Add an email. I don't know. This is a mail you're receiving. That's too big of a subject line. I don't know. You clicked or you opened the mail. You opened that second preview. Open the last mail. And yeah, hopefully that should have been the body, but anyways, I'm running out of ideas right now. I'm trying to keep this video so short as possible. So let's say we add that email. So this cadence basically that what it does is it takes people who have already opened the mail, who have shown intent, and I basically I take them out from one customer journey, I branch them into another one, and I'm taking care of them separately. I'm communicating with them separately because they have shown intent. Others who haven't will go through that same parallel. And at some point, if they want, if they respond, I pull them out again. Now that is a very complex process, and this is just one example of that. Now the branching can be done at multiple levels. If you understand this, and the more you work on this, you'll understand that it's critical you do that. It's a little difficult to understand this over here. I would recommend going to the MailChimp video, and so you understand the journey, this part specifically, how this is happening, where the branching happens, when the branching happens, because it's very well, I mean, it's visual on MailChimp, which is wonderful, right? Here you have to be conceptually very clear to kind of apply this. So let's go to next, and then we do this. Let's say that this thing is called special attention. I don't know. The time zone, everything stays the same. We go to next, and we don't add prospects to cadence. We just say the next step. Again, so this is the cadence we want to push people to once they have interacted with us, opened the mail with us. That could be a click. I mean, I'm just saying open because I want to. I mean, I want to show you what happens once that happens. When people open my mail, but ideally you should respond to somebody when they click on your this thing, your mailer. So now we go back to the original one that we had over here, and we go to playbook, and we create a custom playbook like I showed. You go to prospect open email. The first email, if somebody has opened it one time, then what do? We add that person to another cadence, and we start. Select the cadence. Which cadence? This one, right? Special attention one, right? Immediately. Once again, you could add a delay. You could add a delay of hours, months, years, days, whatever. Ideally, send emails in the same thread so people understand the flow, why this person is texting me. What you could also do is you could add this person to a list, a separate list. Sometimes what happens is you want a separate list of people who have interacted with your brand, like warm lead. So understand this, the moment this happens, that person is converted into a warm lead. That person knows about your brand right now. He has understood, he's read through your email, and he knows that here's what this guy is trying to do, what this brand is trying to do. And he's a warm lead. So this cadence is for warm leads. And this is the push happening from a cold lead to a warm lead, right? At the moment this happens, you could add that person to a separate list. How do you do that? You add over here and you add that person to a list. Once again, I don't have a list ready on Klenty, so it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm not going to do that. You could do, so you could add that person to a list, create a list, and then add that person to a list. Remove him from a list as well, right? So maybe you want to pull him out of a list. Hey, this person has responded, and put him in another list, right? That could happen. Yeah, so let's go for create playbook, and I think it's set up. Good. Yeah, so that's the cadence ready. So my journey is ready. This is just a one-step journey. It's a very short one. It's just a one-step journey. You receive a mail, you open that mail, you receive a second mail, special attention. You don't open that mail, you receive a second mail, which is a follow-up mail. Simple, just a three-step process. It's a three-block process, right? And it could be more complicated. It could be multiple levels. It could be multiple branches. And once you understand the basics, you could kind of do the rest of it easily. Yeah. So now my cadence is ready. We go to prospects now, and what I mean with prospects is now we're trying to integrate HubSpot and Klenty in a way such that whenever a contact is added to HubSpot, Klenty pulls that contact from HubSpot automatically uh, by itself, and then starts the customer journey by itself. That's what I want to. That's what I want to do. So I go to prospects over here, and think I should rather go to settings. So how is this done? Is you go to settings, you go to HubSpot, and then you go to um, yeah, and then you click on import. The HubSpot integration is live because I have already integrated HubSpot earlier. It will show up as not like connect something, like there will be a block over here called connect. Click on that, connect your HubSpot account. Not very technical. Once that's done, this is what you're going to see over here. So my HubSpot integration is live right now. I'm going to import a separate list. So that's why I'm going to go to import prospects. And if you see over here, all the prospect lists on HubSpot, yeah, all these lists, they all pop up. Yeah, sorry, my the recording thing came down. I have a little bit trouble with this. Yeah, so the HubSpot lists all pop up over here. So this is the list we created, right? Tag list, active list. So this is the list we're going to import, and we're going to name this list tagged red active list. This prospect list name is for Klenty. Klenty's personal repository. They're going to store it in their own way, which is going to be updated on a regular basis from HubSpot. Yeah. How the update happens, I'll show you. Tag prospects, you don't need to, but you could still kind of put a tag on it. I don't know. I mean, you could tag it HubSpot maybe, but I don't want to put a tag on this right now. Tags are very important in MailChimp. Yeah, it's not that important in this scenario. So let's start the import, and it'll take some amount of time. By the way, I closed HubSpot, so I'll probably open HubSpot again. I will show it to them. Yeah, so if you see one prospect has been imported, yeah, and this is the prospect that we added, Bill Musk or something. I don't remember. Let's just give me a second. Yeah. If you go to lists over here, you see that Bill Musk. Yeah, that's right. So this guy has been imported. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put this, not Bill Musk as a contact. I'm trying to put this entire list to use through a cadence. And what cadence is that? The one we just created before this, which is basically a tagged list, active mailer list, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this is the one. So I click on this, I review this, and the start time is now. I want to get this done right now. The select from ID could be anything. Let me select this one, which is my user ID, and then let's go to start cadence. And we should be getting a mail soon. I mean, my Gmail should have been open here somewhere. It's not ideally. Okay, it is over here. So ideally, we should be receiving a mail soon. Let's wait for that. Should be coming on social or promotions tab. Meanwhile, what we can do is so this is a cadence which is live. Oh, sorry, we wouldn't be receiving a mail because this mail ID is not the one. The mail ID that we're looking at is this one, which is another email ID. I don't remember the password to this one right now. So this, if I had access to this mail ID, we could have seen that this guy already received the mail, right? And because I'm not logging in, and because this guy wouldn't open the mail, respond to the mail, he won't get branched out. He will go to the second phase. He'll receive a mail, second mail tomorrow, maybe, right? The follow-up email that we created, right? So That's one. Now I want to show you how the automation happens. First of all, let's see what we can do with. There's a couple of small things you need to do here, which is you need to go to triggers. Now, why am I doing this since I explained along the way? So, thing is that yeah, so triggers. Klenty provides this support that you could what the customer journey that's happening on Klenty. You understand that this is the one point contact. The import is the one point contact between Klenty and HubSpot. Yes. So we at some level we want to understand what's happening at the HubSpot on the HubSpot side of things as well. We want to go to a contact on HubSpot like this. We want to go to this particular contact and we want to understand what's happening over here. All right, this is the activity tab, and yeah, if you see over here, it's already logged, right? The first email has gone out, and this is on HubSpot. It's reflecting on HubSpot. Why? Because on Klenty, these tabs are on. Now, why are these tabs on? Because I have done this work before. So this is by default. I mean, by previous imports. On the basis of previous imports, these things are on. I recommend that you turn these things on as well. What it does is, the moment an email is sent, it on HubSpot. So on Klenty, the actions happen, these actions happen. And on HubSpot, you have these tasks are created. What are tasks? These are basically tasks that are logged under activity. This is a task. Yeah, this is a task. These are logged under, and it's like a timeline. So what happens? You can look into any contact, you can like walk into any contact, you can understand what's happening with that particular guy over a period of time. Yeah. So for that, you need to turn on these things. And I think the important ones are turned on over here. You need to, when an email is sent, you want that task to be updated. You don't want it to open for it. I mean, I don't want to be want a task to be logged if somebody's opened an email, but let's do that as well. I mean, there's no harm for this purpose. The reply has to be logged, of course, because if somebody's replying, we want to see that on HubSpot, we want to see that on our personal mail, and we want to see that here in inbox. It'll come up as a, once again, I'll show you what happens. There's a lag. So hopefully we can see that. We'll see. There's a lag in the mails being logged on these platforms, HubSpot. When I say mails, I mean the reply mail. Let's say I send you a mail and you reply back, hey, hi, what's up? All that, then that reply is logged for sure on 3 platforms. One, the email ID you're sending it from, right? The one that's logged on your email marketing engine. So that's one. That's why it's logged. Number 2, I want it to be logged on Klenty, my email marketing engine itself over here on inbox. And number 3, I want it to be logged on HubSpot as well as part of the customer journey over here on activities. It should show up over here that Bill Musk responded hey Priyanshu, I want to know more about your brand. So it should pop up over here. 3 utilities basically. I want replies. The replies are important. The customer is trying to reach out to you. You shouldn't miss that. That's it. So that's why this is on. Replies are on. Replies, first replies only. You could turn that on. There's a lot of options. And I'm not going to explain all of that. That's mostly what it is over here. The triggers, you should turn them on accordingly. And field mapping is already done, but still you could just have a look, email to email, company to company, first name to first name, last name to last name. So the track field mappings are perfect. And what this will do is this will keep the flow of information between HubSpot and Klenty on. Okay, done. What's next? The next thing we're going to do is we're trying to start automating the thing, and I'll show you what we set up, right, is being automated. For that, there's one final step that we need to do here on Klenty, is that we need to kind of, we need to allow Klenty to basically update its own list the moment a contact is added to the dynamics HubSpot list. Hope I'm making sense. We need to allow Klenty to update its own list to start a customer journey the moment a new contact with a tag is added to the list on HubSpot, right? So let's say the next contact that I'm going to add, the one that Elon Gates, right? The one I showed you on an Excel, the add-on contact that I'm going to add. Ideally, what should happen is, if we've done it wrong, it will not pop up over here, and we'll have to troubleshoot that. But ideally, what should happen is that guy, the moment is added, he should be step 1, he's added. Step 2, the list, the dynamic list on HubSpot should pick him up immediately. Step 3, Klenty should import that list. That happens in a 3-hour gap, as far as I know. they could change that, they could upgrade that, or it might be part of plans, right? It could be part of a premium plan that the refresh happens every other minute or so. But ideally, what should happen is Klenty should import that contact. Yes. And the moment Klenty imports that contact, what should happen is it should start a customer journey with that guy. Yeah, that's the flow. And the customer journey we've already defined, right? He replies, all that. I'm not repeating that, right? For that one last step, you go to import history and prospects, right? And you click on HubSpot over here, which is where you, and this is the last list we imported, right? The one prospect we imported. So you have to turn on auto import, yeah. And this imports, as far as my knowledge is concerned, this imports every 3 hours. You could force import at any time by clicking on import now, and we're going to do that in a second. But you have to turn on auto import for the automation thing to work. So that's it from the Klenty side of things. Now we'll just go into the automation, the last part of this video, which is that we go to contacts, we go to this particular thing, the mother list, we go to sample view, which is what I've created for this video. And we're going to start importing a contact, which is the second contact, and this should be the automated one. Yeah, ideally, in an ideal world. Yeah, so I click on import, start an import. I click on from computer. I have removed myself from here. Just a second. Next, one file, one object. All these things mean a lot of different things. So feel free to kind of browse through. Yeah. So this time I'm going to import the second list that I've created Excel file, which is the add-on file. Yeah. And I'm going to click on next. The mapping looks to be good. First name, last name, email ID. Tag is not tag. This is what I've created for my client. This should be ideally demo tag if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we created it. Yeah, it should be demo tag. Otherwise, the list won't pick it up. The HubSpot list won't pick it up. So I click on next over here. And don't create a list out of this content because there's a list creator that will pick it up by default. And I click on finish import. The import is processing. It should take some time. The import is ready. Now what should happen is I should go to my lists and I should check if the new list that we created picks this contact up. Then this part is sorted. Then we're right over here. The journey is correct till this point. So I click on tagged active list, and apparently it hasn't, which is a strange thing. Probably it will take some time. I'll refresh this page. Yeah, and here you see that the size is 2. And if I click on this, you'll see that elongates, this guy has been added with this email ID. Now this email ID is basically open in front of me, so we should be able to see the customer journey. Yeah, elongates over here, and now, so this has been picked up, right? Now the next step, so that's part 1 done successfully. Part 2, Klenty should pick it up. My email marketing engine should pick it up. So let's go to Klenty. This is the list that I've imported. Ideally, in a 3-hour gap, it will pick up, but I don't have that much amount of time right now. So I'll force the sync, which is click on import now. And the moment I do it, you see that immediately, hold on. Yeah, 2 prospects have been imported because 1 prospect is it was 1 over here, right? And now it's 2. So this guy, Elon Gates, whatever, he's being imported now. So that's one. Now, Klenty should start a customer journey with this guy as well immediately without my intervention, right? So if I go to cadences and if I go to tag active, by the way, you have to turn these things on. Like for example, this one's not turned on, so it will be a bit difficult for this guy to kind of let me try it. I think it turns on by itself because this is a supplementary cadence. Okay, let's figure this out later. But this one should pick up the second email and it should send out the second email in some time. Just a second. This usually happens in a 5-minute gap or a 10-minute gap, ideally. So shows 1, but what Klenty does is it picks up this email and the cadence is mapped to this. So at some point, I mean, it usually takes some time, but Klenty will pick up this email. It has already, and then it will basically push this email as a mailer on my personal mail. So that's how it is. There are lags. I mean, there are small because it's two high performance engines interacting with one another. There's a little bit of gap over there. But uh, but yeah, that's how it is. I'll just try one last time to show you if I could force send the email. Um, I don't think so. I think it happens in a 3 hour gap. 3 hours later, it refreshes which email IDs it has, and then it kind of sends out that email. So Bill Musk has been mailed. Elon Gates is over here, and the mail has bounced. That's why it doesn't show up. Okay, why has it bounced? This is not a problem with the investor. I mean, sorry, it's not a problem with the automation. Probably an issue with the email ID. So I'll just have to check. Email ID was right or wrong. Seems okay, but the mail has bounced. But what happens over here? Should we pick up another email ID and try that? Should we do that? Yeah. That'll take maybe 5 more minutes. So let's do that because otherwise, you know, if you have that time, you can do this. So let's go to contacts and let's remove my personal email ID that I already have over here. This one, I'll remove this. And okay, hold on. Yeah. Let me delete this. This is my personal email ID. I'll switch to my personal email ID as well, which is this. And I'll go to the promotions tab because that's usually where the mails land up. Klenty also has a good open rate. So I'll just open this one up. It's just a random mail over here. Um, yeah. So let's keep this tab on promotions and let's create a contact for the time being because I don't want to create a separate Excel file and just pushing this forward. This means this PSG, and let's sorry, the email ID is to my this is my Gmail ID which I'm using for this purpose. Important. Uh, and this one should be tagged red. Yeah, yeah. Any tag you can use any tag. And once again the problem here is we're using tag. Now it can't be tag. It's the tag is demo tag that we created. Remember, because I'm trying to create a contact. This is a problem. So what I'll do is I'll customize the properties we have. This is a HubSpot feature, and I'll choose property fields from your contacts, and I'll go for demo tag. Why am I doing this? I want this field to pop up when I add a contact manually. Yeah. So demo tag is turned on. I'm keeping tag, but I'm also adding demo tags. I'm saving this. I'm going to contacts and literally I'm refreshing this page. Yeah. And when I do that, I create another contact, create a contact. Last guy. Yeah. I'm putting yeah. Tag, I don't have any. Demo tag, I can do tag red. So this is the tag we're looking for. This is a tag we create. So create contact. The contact is created. It should pop up on the list once again. It should pop up here on the list. And if you go to this particular, it's not yet added. Ideally, it should be added. Still have two email IDs over here. Tag underscore red, that's fine. Let's go to list again. This takes a lot of time to kind of, yeah. So you have three contacts over here. Yes. So that's one. Now I hope this mail doesn't bounce from Klenty. And just a second. Yeah. I'll go to import history and I'll go to HubSpot. I'm just trying to basically force sync. Otherwise, our import will be done every 3 hours. I'm trying to force sync because I want to see if the list works or not. And this should So 2 updated, 1 failed, 2 prospects imported. That's a problem because we have 3 contacts over here, yeah, and it should ideally, yeah, it should ideally have 3 contacts. Let's see one more time, yeah. Now, so there's a lag. I hope you understand that. There's a little bit of lag between these. So now we have 3 prospects. We should have sent out 3 emails. Once again, the mail will be sent out in a little bit of time. The backend works in its own way, and yeah, tagless active mailer. The prospect should be 3, not 1. I'll refresh this page. It could be a Klenty backend problem. That's it. But no, this seems to. So this is the first mail that's gone out, and let's add a prospect to this cadence, which is basically select from existing prospects, and let's add this guy over here, and we review this. Yeah, so this guy, and then start the cadence again. Yeah, so prospect has been added to cadence. What this means is that this guy, the one we just added forcefully, the thing would happen in a little bit of time. I force the issue, and it should ideally pop up this guy should receive a mail in some amount of time. And then based on my response to that mail, we'll have a series of emails. Usually it takes 5-10 minutes. So I'm not waiting for that ideally. I'm sticking to this. Yeah, so that's over here. Once I force started, you have this email ID which is added, this one. This is the second email ID. So that's fine. That's how it is. And do we have a mail center? I don't think. So last step completed would be step 1, which is not yet completed. So let's see. I mean, it would be done in a couple of minutes, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, the mail has not been sent out. It'll go out in due course of time. Yeah, that's it. And the next video I'll do basically is on MailChimp. Same process, little bit more complex, and we'll see how that works out. Yeah. This is Klenty, and if you have any questions, feel free to ping me. My email ID is in the description box. Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.